Hello, my friends. I'm Al, and welcome to Al's Vinyl Collection. I want you to join me for a song which hasn't been recommended, but I was listening to this on vinyl today, and it's one of my favourite albums in my collection. It's a vast collection. I recommend you check it out on my community tab. There's about 470 records in there, and I would say this being one of the best, that says something. I love Townes Van Zandt. I heard Townes Van Zandt in 2023 for the first time, following on from some of the Bright Eyes reactions I did. They did a cover of one of his songs that I heard kind of towards the end of that year, around the time I stopped making content, and Townes Van Zandt, I went to listen to the original Fare Thee Well Miss Carousel from his sophomore album. He is amazing. He is genuinely, I don't have many other artists who I hold on such a pedestal. And we're talking, his live albums, his live in Texas album is one of a kind. I will do a whole video on that and look at the VMP pressing I have. It's amazing. But for now, we're going to look at, for the sake of a song, the 1969 re-recording, and we will talk a little bit about the context afterwards. But I want you to join me to listen to this, because this really is one of the greatest albums I have ever heard. Let's jump into this and let's see where this takes us.
Why does she sing her sad songs? For me, I'm not the one to tenderly bring her soft sympathy. I've just begun to see my way clear, and it's plain if I stop I will fall. I can lay down a tear for her pain, just a tear, and that's all. What does she want me to do? She says that she knows that moments are rare. I suppose that it's true. Then on she goes to say I don't care. All she knows that I do. Maybe she just has to sing for the sake of the song. And who do I think that I am to decide that she's wrong? She'd like to think I was cruel, but she knows that's a lie, for I would be no more than a two if I allowed her to cry all over me. All my sorrow is real, even though I can't change my plans. If she could see how I feel, then I know that she'd understand. Or does she actually think I'm to blame? Does she really believe that some word of mine could relieve all her pain? Can't she see that she grieves just because she's been blindly deceived by her shame? Oh, but maybe she just has to sing for the sake of the song. And who do I think that I am to decide that she's wrong? Oh, but nothing's what it seems. Maybe she'll start someday to realize if she abandons her dreams, then all the words she can say are only lies. Oh, when will she see that to gain is only to lose? All that she offers me are her chains, and I got to refuse. Oh, but it's only to herself that she's lied. She likes to pretend there's something that she should defend with her pride. And I don't intend to stand here and be the friend from whom she must hide. Maybe she just has to sing for the sake of the song. And who do I think that I am to decide that she's wrong? Oh, but maybe she just has to sing for the sake of the song.
Wow, I think if you want to understand in this world what makes a brilliant songwriter, that's it right there. Townes Van Zandt. This album just speaks to me on so many levels, and it really is an album which benefits from both the raw mix and from EQ enrichment, I would say. I listened to these songs through my perfectly calibrated Yamaha HS7 industry standard monitors, and they have no color, no additional alterations made, no additional processing. They are designed to hear the mix as clearly as it was intended to be heard. You know, it's a one-to-one reflection of what was recorded. When I listened to this downstairs in my vinyl room, I have my record player running through two preamps, or a preamp, a phono preamp, and then into a WIM Ultra, which is a streamer, but also has an equalizer built in, a digital EQ, and then that runs into an amp, which then runs into the speakers. On there, I have a very, very soft EQ preset I've applied, and this song sounds, or this album in general, sounds beautiful on both setups, which really speaks volumes for the album. From an engineering and a production standpoint, this song for me is probably one of the most fascinating case studies in music history, I would argue to say. The version that we've just listened to, you probably saw on the player, it's a 1969 re-recording. It's a stripped down re-recording. This isn't originally how the song came out. Now, when Townes recorded this song for his debut album in 1968, Jack Clement, his producer, who also worked with Johnny Cash, Jerry Lee Lewis, completely misunderstood who Townes was. He tried, in a way, to turn him into a 60s folk pop blend star. The original 1968 mix, if you go and have a listen to it, is flooded with flutes, harpsichords, mariachi, horns, a heavy vocal reverb, and frankly is a masterclass in how you don't mix Townes Van Zandt and how you don't produce a Texas troubadour. A cluttered mix, all the studio instruments completely stripping the song of its life in a way, and kind of stepped, it wasn't, in the nicest way possible, it wasn't a good mix. All of those additional instruments I mentioned, the mariachi horns, the harpsichords and whatnot, the flutes, there wasn't space prepared for them within the mix. They weren't mixed to give Townes the room for him and his guitar effectively, which is Townes Van Zandt. Townes Van Zandt is Townes and his guitar. Townes isn't mariachi horns and harpsichords. So they buried the important frequencies, and Townes hated it. Really hated it. So he went back into the studio in 1969 and he recorded this album, Townes Van Zandt, his sophomore album, and that's what we've just heard. The difference in engineering here is monumental. The vocal chain is remarkably dry. This is what stood out to me when I first listened to this album. This doesn't feel like an acoustic album. This doesn't feel like Bruce Springsteen's Nebraska, which is a very similar case of just a man, a guitar, and very few other instruments. Nebraska is obviously a lo-fi demo that's got its own history, and please, I urge you, I recently released a documentary on why we're still talking about it. Please do check it out. It's a really important album culturally and within the music world. But Townes within this album sounds like he sat in the room. You listen to this, you shut your eyes, and he could be 2 feet across the room from you singing to you. It is beautiful. His vocal chain is really dry. There's almost no spatial effect pushing his voice into the back of the room. The engineer kept him front and center, which is beautiful, is what you want. And if you listen to how they mic'd up the acoustic guitar, especially for the 60s, you can hear every scrape of his fingers against those strings. The compression is dialed in so perfectly to catch the transient plucks without squashing the natural decay of the wooden body of the guitar. By stripping the 1968 clutter, this song finally had room to breathe, the lyrics finally had room to breathe, and the lyrics are devastating within this song. And Townes Van Zandt, a lot of his lyrics are devastating, but he sings them so beautifully that you don't mind feeling devastated. He's writing here about a woman who is so deeply comfortable in her own depression that she's basically performing her grief. She isn't sad because of anything happening to her. She's kind of staying in the dark, effectively just for the sake of the song. This album proves a massive point about record making. Sometimes the best thing a producer can do or an engineer can do is, against all kind of modern conventional wisdom, mute the backing tracks, dry the reverb, and just get out of the way of the song. Is the best way to put it. You don't need to overproduce a song. I firmly believe less is more. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this song, because I love this song and I love recording videos which, hey, this might not blow up. There might be 10 of you who watch this, but that's still 10 people who maybe haven't heard Townes Van Zandt, who have now heard Townes Van Zandt. And that to me is a good thing. If you have other songs you'd like me to listen to, please do let me know. I will continue to make these videos of just me listening to songs. Hell, I would like to listen to this entire album on this channel. Maybe I'll just listen to the whole album, sit in my vinyl room, record the outputs of the turntable, and we'll just listen to that together instead. I'm not too sure. But it's been a real pleasure to listen to this with you. It's been a real privilege for me to share this with some people who maybe haven't heard it before. And if you do know Townes, God bless you. I say this like Townes is a niche artist. Townes is one of the greatest artists of all time. But if you want any other Townes songs you want to listen to, especially from his Live in Houston album, I'd love to listen to that on this channel and break that down, because that in itself is one hell of a roller coaster story. Please let me know. If you haven't already, please do consider subscribing. It's free. You can always unsubscribe later. But over 95% of the people who watch these videos aren't subscribed, and you might miss a video that you'll really enjoy down the line. So with that said, thank you so much for joining me, and take care.